a little more stoked even than usual.
Yeah, I think like the guys from Toronto going back to Toronto, it's important. And we had a game here earlier in the year. Him and Ryan Suter, who obviously has ties to this area too, did an outdoor skate. Otter had his family there and friends, and it was nice to see him in that environment. You can see how special the area is to him when you see him outside the rink like that.
Hi, Pete. Obviously, you can expect it's playoffs, so each team's going to come out firing. But especially the way that Minnesota lost in Dallas, just how pivotal is it going to be for you guys to come out quick and hot, knowing that they're probably going to do the same?
Yeah, well, I think that's every coach's plan, right? And unfortunately, it doesn't always go that way. So for me, tough building, loud environment. For me, it's going to be managing the momentum in this building. I think they get momentum from their crowd here, obviously, and like we do at home. And if they start quickly, we've got to manage that and get through it and get to our game as quickly as we can. And the plan is to start as quick as you can, but both teams have something to say about that.
Robo said this morning that when you're the team on the road, especially in a loud building, that can actually pull you together. Have you sensed that with this group?
Yeah, I've liked our road game all year. I think we've been a pretty unflappable group. We've gotten to our game quickly. We've managed those momentum swings, and we got rewarded with our record this year on the road.
Pete, Dean Evison said yesterday during his press briefing that he felt that some of the Stars' bigger players went down very easily, and made a point of saying that the Minnesota Wild don't dive. And I wonder if you have a response to his take on your team and your players.
There's a hockey term for that, Scott. It's called deflection. And you know what? Hey, listen, if I was coaching one of the most penalized teams in the league, I'd probably do the same thing. So that's good coaching by him.
Coach, it seemed like in Game 2, you guys had a lot more rush chances than you did in Game 1. What do you attribute that to?
You know what? I thought our game was cleaner. I thought we executed. We made plays coming out of our end through the neutral zone. I'm sure, Dean would probably say they played a part in that, like, your own team always does when you give up too much off the rush, whether it's turnovers or whatever. But, I thought from our perspective, we were cleaner and our execution was better.
Pete, when you play a team from your own division in a playoff series, like obviously you're really familiar with them, is there anything where new wrinkles are added in the playoffs, or is it mostly just executing your game plan no matter what? You don't like to save anything or add anything different when you have a matchup like this?
Well, there's always tendencies when you dive into a team for a 7-game series that you think you can expose or exploit. But I would say 95% of our game planning is about bringing our game to the rink that has worked all year and we're comfortable with. And we feel that if we throw that game out against anyone, we're going to be a real tough out.
Pete, you got different layers of offense on your team. Jamie Benn's having a real terrific season, best in 5 years. Why has he bounced back? What's been the biggest factors for him from the start of the year to where we are now?
Yeah. You know what, Hetty? I think there's a bunch of factors. The things Jamie had direct control over, went into the off season, worked his ass off, got lighter. With the intent of getting lighter, getting faster. I think the excitement of a new group and a new role with our group. We put him with Wyatt Johnson early on the third line and backed his minutes off and changed his role a little bit and in order to try and get some more scoring out of him. And he embraced all those things. And I think that's probably the story of it, though, is a proud veteran guy who has a resume that you would put up against almost anybody's, having the open mind to come into a training camp and not just accept a lesser role and playing with young guys, but embrace it and run with it and had a hell of a season.
Pete, Minnesota might be getting Joel Eriksson Ek back tonight, maybe for Game 4. How much does that change what you guys need to do, knowing the type of player that Ek is and knowing what that can really do for Minnesota?
Yeah. Well, he obviously helps him. He's a good player, but doesn't change anything for us. I mean, I think coming into the series, we were planning on playing against Ek. We played against him all year. He didn't miss any of the games we played against him in the regular season. So good players come in and out of lineups in the playoffs everywhere in the league. And, you can't overcoach those issues from the other bench. And you also can't, from your own bench, worry too much about the guys that are moving in and out. You have to have a next man up mentality.